How is everybody doing? This is Justin Simpers with another edition of How to Make More Money. I wanted to touch base with you guys with one of the key principles that I have developed through actually working a 12-step program. And I'm not going to be diving into 12-step by any means, but I feel like what I've learned there has been imperative to my success and really does help me continue the success that I have because I do work the principles. But, the key thing and kind of like the perfect, thing to meditate on is actually the Serenity prayer. And so the Serenity prayer is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So, how does that work, right? Like, what does it all mean? And it's really a principle that is something that I try and use in my day-to-day life. And I'll have to be honest with you, I'm constantly trying to change and, be better with it, right? So, we can, examine the past. I just did a video on not living in the past, but let's just talk about it real quick. So for me, I was in the mortgage industry during the crisis. And, when it happened, I was completely ill prepared. My relationship with my ex-wife was not good. We ended up getting a divorce 2 months after our company folded. So there was a lot of things going on. I was not prepared financially. I was young and I was dumb. And when it happened, I was scared, right? And so there are a lot of things that, the Serenity prayer, actually looking back on it, would have taught me. But I didn't really understand or know it at that time. But, there are a lot of factors there that were involved with the crash that, caused me to, there were a lot of things that were out of my control. And, if I would have focused on the things that I could have controlled, the outcome for me probably would have been a little different. But being able to focus on what I can control and knowing the Serenity prayer, it would have guided me a little bit better in those dark times, and I'll even fast forward into today, right? Like, talk about the video I just did, living for today, but talking about today, and the success that I've had, for the last almost 10 years back in the mortgage industry is, the fear that I would have that it would just happen again. So instead of focusing on that, what I did is I really focused my effort on preparing myself that I would be prepared if another crash happened, right? And so that in of itself really just got me to focus on today and what I could do today to prepare myself that if that were to happen, it would lift the fear that I had on looking over my shoulder constantly that's just going to happen again. So I built my business differently. I saved money, right? And, it's just a completely different situation now. So I don't live with that fear anymore. But that's an example of how the Serenity prayer helped me to grow up and be able to have the tools necessary to assume the responsibility to grow and to change. And I'll even take it a step further, right? Like, so let's say that you're marketing the clients, right? And, it's not going well for you. You have to be a quick forgetter. So yeah, things may not have gone well for you. Maybe quickly analyze what you could have done differently and move on. Forget about it, right? I remember busting out cold calls, 200 plus a day, right? And I maybe I got through to 5 or 6, right? But I was a quick forgetter on the 260 plus no's, right? But I was constantly changing and honing my craft for that too. There's certain things in sales calls that you're not going to be able to change, and you have to be able to accept that and not dwell on it and move forward, right? You have to do that. And I think that applies to a lot of the crazy times that we're dealing with today. So I know this was a little bit deeper, not so much sales focused, but the reality of it is fixing yourself and knowing yourself is the key to being able to succeed in whatever adventure you're doing. But anyway, thank you so much. Tell people about the video, follow me on social media, and reach out. All right, have a good day.